Welcome to PrepsNet Coach Speak with Gardendale Rockets head football coach Chad Eads. Powered by Sweet Caroline's Ice Cream Shop on Fieldstown Road in Gardendale. And now your host, Aubrey Johnson.
Welcome to the show, Coach.
Thank you very much. Good to be back.
You got to be feeling pretty good after last Friday. You had a great homecoming win against the minor tenacious Tigers, 35-13.
Yeah, it was a great game, great night. Crowd was great. I think it was maybe standing room only on our side. Had a lot of alumni back, and
right.
We opened up the game with a touchdown drive. And,
yes, you did.
And kind of kept rolling from there. And I felt like we controlled the game throughout the entire time, and it was a very physical game. Had a lot of kids that played both ways. Had some offensive linemen that also played on defense, and Rhett Fitzpatrick I think played 85 plays in the game. Those maybe 55 on offense and the rest in 30 on defense. So it was a long night for him. But
that's a long night.
But a very good night, productive night for him.
Yeah, good. Well, tell us more about the offense. What took place there, and who would you recognize?
Well, it's kind of the same guys keep popping up.
I know.
Braylon Henry had a big run from the wide receiver position, and also had a big catch for I believe our second touchdown. Mm-hmm. Uriah Casey continues to get better each week running the ball. He is, and really made some big runs, some big cuts, and I felt like offensive line-wise, Jacob Williams, our right tackle, has gotten better every week and is really getting to his best point of the season right now. And
good. And
Rhett Fitzpatrick's our other tackle had a really good night, and I think all of our offensive line probably had their best night. That's a position that comes along about this time of the year. They're kind of steadily improving and
kind of coming into their own.
Yeah,
now.
And hopefully get to about Game 5 and they're kind of settling in, getting comfortable with each other. So
good.
I felt real good about them. I thought our wide receivers made a lot of plays and did a lot of good things in our game.
Nice. So the defense didn't do too shabby either. I mean, they held them to 13 points. What can you tell us about them?
Well, again, same guys keep showing up. Rowan Warmack had a lot of tackles. Adam Yazel.
Right.
Again, both of those guys are leading our team in tackling. I thought the two guys that really stood out in the game that probably the fans didn't notice were Marcus Hines and Keon Henson, and they played interior defensive line and defensive end, and Keon's a young man that has spent the last 3 years really just working hard and getting better in the weight room, getting better on the field, and it's showing up in the way he plays, and he plays with a lot of intensity. And Marcus is a big kid that plays in the middle of all the big bodies, and so a lot of people don't notice him, but he makes a lot of plays as a nose guard.
He takes up a lot of space.
He does take up a lot of space. And
a lot of times those guys help the linebackers make the big.
Well, and that's what Adam and Rowan, that's what they understand. Those guys are taking a lot of work off of them, and they're doing all the heavy lifting, and those guys get to run around and make all the tackles and get in the stat book.
Well, it's good for them to get a little recognition.
That's right.
Well, as usual, we want to ask about injuries. How did the week go as far as injuries?
Good. We had one Aiden Cups that we held out this week.
Right.
You really felt like he probably could have played, but just thought it would be a good for the rest of the year to let him recover, and no big injuries, just same little things, bumps and bruises that we get them almost healed and get to Friday night, and they bang it up again, and we spend another 4 days getting it ready.
Black and blue.
That's right. But we're about as healthy as a team can be.
Well, great.
Right now going into Game 6.
Awesome. Well, we'll be right back after this message.
PrepsNet Coach Speak with Gardendale Rockets head football coach Chad Eads is proudly brought to you by Sweet Caroline's Ice Cream Shop on Fieldstown Road in Gardendale. The only thing sweeter than a win in Driver Stadium is a Hershey's ice cream treat or dirty soda from Sweet Caroline's. Go Rockets!
And we're back. Coach, this week you are going to Central-Tuscaloosa to play. They are also 3 wins, 2 losses, as are you, except they're going a different way. They've lost their last 2 games, whereas you've won your last 2 games. Tell us what you think you might expect from them.
Well, what stands out on film is I think they're a very athletic team. I know the quarterback is at right around 1,300 all-purpose yards for the season, and they started out with some big wins, and they've hit a couple of bumps in the road here lately. But the athleticism of their team stands out, and you always worry about a team who's athletic because at some point they can throw a ball up a little higher than you can jump or run a little faster than you can, and
Right.
so they're a team I think kind of reminds me of us. Maybe got young in a few positions, and they're kind of getting into their stride here at weeks
Sure.
at the 6-game point. Also,
Right. Right. You definitely don't want to catch them as they're coming around the corner, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay. This is Coach DeMario Pippin's second year there. And what do you know about him and his tendencies? Do you have an idea of what he's going to throw at you?
Well, we've seen the film and just see what they do. They try to throw the ball around a lot. I got to meet Coach Pippin, I guess last summer when he was there. He and I met maybe at a coaching event in Montgomery, and seemed like a very nice person. So I have, guys, everything I've heard about him, but he and I don't know each other that well. But you can tell by the way his team plays, they're well coached and a disciplined team. And if you can get a group of athletes and they're disciplined and run around and play hard, you've got a chance. And,
yes, you do.
And it seems like things are headed in the right direction at Central.
Right. So, like I said, you guys are both 3-2. They've lost the last 2. You've won the last 2. Does that play in your favor, or does that give you a little bit of concern?
I think it plays in your favor. We're on a streak. I guess us and Central are on a streak. One of us is going to continue it.
Right.
And of course, with the winning, as long as you have a mature team that also sees the mistakes, they make the same mistakes in a win as they do the loss. But they, when you come back on Sunday and you watch the film, hopefully they learn from those mistakes and not just feel like they're invincible because they won. I think we've got a mature team that sees those mistakes and takes the coaching and makes the corrections after a win, just like you do after the loss. And if you do that, you got a chance to keep on improving.
Yeah, you do. Well, best of luck to you this week. That's our show. Join us again next week for another Gardendale version of Coach Speak.